welcome back to This Morning Grenada. And our next guest, they are guests from the University. They are from California School of Nursing. Here with us this morning is Dr. Tamara McKinnon, professor at the San Jose School of Nursing, and along with her two students, Marisa Lozano and Claudine Lozano. Welcome to Grenada. Thanks for coming to see us. For having us. All right. So, Dr. McKinnon, give us some sort of background as to the global program, caregivers program that you're here about.
So these students, we have a combination of nursing and occupational therapy students from San Jose State University. These are two of our nursing students. And typically, these students would be doing a clinical rotation near the San Francisco Bay Area, working in any number of facilities. But for a number of years, I've been working on the development of a global clinical. And these are part of the first group that are participating in the global clinical experience, which is very exciting. So I came to Grenada a year ago and then again 6 months ago to explore what kinds of things would be helpful in terms of collaborating with the community.
Right.
And the issue of caregiver role stream came up as a primary issue and something that we could really partner with this community on. And that's why we're here.
Great. How did you first become aware of Grenada?
I worked for 6 months with Project Concern in St. Lucia, and through my work there, I came to know the director of nursing, Dr. Beverly Lanciplo, and I became connected with Beverly Bonaparte, Dr. Bonaparte, who was the director of the School of Nursing here at SGU.
Okay.
And she facilitated our being here, and then I subsequently became connected with Dr. Shelley Rodrigo.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great.
And both Dr. Rodrigo and Dr. Bonaparte were instrumental in getting us here, making sure that we were really partnering and collaborating with the community.
Wonderful. Okay, nice.
Tell me, caregiver. There's a different sort of connotation to that. What exactly are you talking about there?
So the issue came up when I was working doing some home visits a year ago and also visiting the communities and the parishes with Ms. Hopkins, who I think you're familiar with, that folks that are caring for their relatives with dementia and Alzheimer's are feeling stressed or maybe feeling like they could use more resources on how to take care of themselves. They're finding that they are spending all of their energy and effort caring for their loved ones, and as a result, sometimes their health is being affected in a negative way. And Ms. Hopkins felt that we might be able to come in and through working at health fairs, working in clinical sites, and as the other students are doing today, doing home visits, that we might be able to partner with the community leaders to affect some change in that area through education. I know that there are many resources, and perhaps folks can be educated on how to use those referral sources a little more. It could be a little more useful to them. Yeah, so we'll be doing that at the health fair, and as I mentioned today, the other students are doing home visits and frequenting.
Oh, great.
Based on your experience in St. Lucia, though, are you aware perhaps of the sort of culture shock your students are going to meet? Because I don't think that we really treat the elderly with the respect that you may take for granted.
Well, that's a great question, and I will say that the students have spent a year getting ready to come to this experience because I do quite a bit of work in the area of global service learning, and what I have seen are programs where people with very good intentions come in and say, here we are, and this is what we're going to do, and that's not at all the approach that we're taking.
Right.
We're saying, I've been coming for a year, I'm working very closely with representatives, and so the students back in San Jose, we have been meeting on a regular basis to talk about issues of cultural humility, getting to know the culture and the resources of Grenada. It's very important to all of us that we do the work in a very collaborative and very sustainable way. So yes, actually, what we have found in our occupational therapy, students have educated us quite a bit about the culture of, at least in the United States, the way that we treat our elderly. We have such an independent culture in the United States. Many of our citizens live very far away from family, so there is a sense that once you reach a certain age, maybe you have lost some of your value, or they sort of call it a disposable, the elderly. Not in all cases, but that is something that is a real problem in the States. And what we've seen here is that close-knit family ties, people very much stay connected, support one another, but as a result of that also is that sense that that's your responsibility, that you must, even if you have a job outside of the home, it is your job to take care of your relative, and that is a wonderful part of the culture. What we're trying to do is to help families and individuals learn how to do that, because that's part of the culture and part of the expectation, but at the same time to take care of themselves. So that's really where we're coming from with this experience.
So, Marisa and Claudine, this experience as young caregivers, I call you caregivers, not nurses. As young caregivers, going globally, going to other cultures, what sort of impact is this having on your life? And is this something that you always wanted to do or set out to do?
Definitely. It's been an eye-opening experience. Yesterday we were at Dorothy Hopkins, the home for the disabled, and just big culture shock, just so different from what we're used to at home. But I think I'm taking away a lot and learning so much. It's just learning to do the best with what we have. I've always wanted to travel, so of course I jumped on when we found out that this program was available to us.
Have you always wanted to do this as an occupation?
Oh yes, my mom is a nurse. My mom is a nurse. She always had all these stories. She traveled to Saudi Arabia and the Philippines, then to California, so I love helping people.
And I'm also interested in public health nursing, and later on down the line I'd also like to further my education to pursue a master's degree in public health nursing. So I'm really interested in working in the community and providing any type of services that I can, for whatever the need is. So I was also at Dorothy Hopkins, and I was amazed at the love that they give to the residents there, and how they're able to work with the supplies that they have, and they make the most of it. And we were fortunate enough to watch the drummers and see the children dance, and they were happy and just enjoying life. And we got to dance with the kids and help play with the instruments. It was really, it was amazing.
What was the first thing you heard about Grenada before coming?
I knew it was in the islands. California and the Bay Area, I have never traveled. I didn't really have the means to travel. So this is my first experience. And I love to learn about other people, learn about the food, learn about how they take care of themselves, and learn about others. So I'm taking this as an opportunity to see what else is out there.
I can tell you that there's a very good master's program in public health at the St. George's University.
Yes.
On your horizon.
Mm-hmm. Fall in love with the island enough to come back.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful university. I think you love seeing great programs, great people.
And we have been partnering with the MPA, the Masters in Public Health Student Association. The faculty have been just amazing. Dr. Rodrigo, of course, has been our host and has facilitated this whole process. We had a full day of orientation at SGU with the faculty. Dr. Damien Gray just gave us a beautiful presentation, which she sang and really talked a lot about the Caribbean culture.
Because he's St. Lucian, so
Yes, he is.
we were able to make a connection.
I was very impressed that I spoke a little patois.
great. So there's a health fair involved on the 27th. Tell us more about that. What can we expect?
Sure. So that, again, we're partnering with the Ministry of Health, also SGU. The students at SGU will be staffing that, and we will be there to focus on some things that we can do to support the caregivers. One thing that came up yesterday that we didn't really expect, but that's what we're all about, is seeing what comes up. And what came up with the Dorothy Hopkin home was a need for a class on body mechanics, lifting and moving people who maybe are immobile. Exactly, so that we're not injuring our backs. And we're so fortunate that we have both the nursing and the occupational therapy perspective. So the students gave an impromptu 1-hour class to the staff about proper lifting, and that was just wonderful. So at the health fair, we're going to be talking about stress reduction, mindfulness. We will probably add body mechanics to that as well. The other things that we will be doing is we will be checking blood sugars, blood pressures. We will have a small area in the health center to teach women to do self-breast exams. We do have 3 male students in our nursing program that are here with us. They will be doing a men's health component, and a small group, including the occupational therapy director and students, will be going to the nutmeg factory to talk about some occupational health issues. And the thing that's also very important to us is that we don't just do screening, that we, if someone has reading that's abnormal, that we pull them aside with their family and really talk about what is your plan. If your blood sugar level is high, maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't. But let's talk about what that means and how you move forward, what your goals are around that, and how we can help you look at utilizing the resources that are available in a way that helps you meet your goals.
Okay, fantastic. It's great to see that you're getting out to the other communities as well, and it's not just in this area. And so before we let you leave, you're talking about caregivers. Who would you say is a caregiver?
Anyone else that's caring for, someone else. Basically, I mean, it can be, you don't have to be related. It can just be someone who's assuming the responsibility for someone else.
And would that suggest that that person needs to be of mature age?
The caregiver? It can and cannot. You can have a child that's caring for a younger child as well. But when we talk about professional caregivers, then someone of a more mature age.
That's also what comes up is who do you have in place to identify instances of neglect or abuse?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the professional caregiver needs to be able to report.
Yes.
And then things get complicated.
Yes, and that's absolutely an issue that we work with. All the students are required to take coursework on reporting, both for physical, mental, fiduciary, or financial abuse, which is a big problem with the elderly in our culture.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for coming out and being a guest, really enriching our program here. As you know, we have quite a booming nursing program, and SGU is leading the thrust on that as well. So thanks for coming to Grenada.
Thank you.
And hope you